Hi, welcome to the sewing studio. My name's Lou and today we are going to be making this Santa hat. So this pattern is a Ruby Star pattern and it is downloadable on our website. I've also made this version here. This one is a Ruby Star Winter Glow and the one that I'm wearing is Makawa Scandi. So what you're going to need for this project is you're going to need some fabric. So I'm going to be using a Lewis and Irene fabric for this one and you're going to need 1/2 metre. If you've got a little bit less hanging around then you should get away with that. You're also going to need 1/2 metre of white fleece and you're also going to need some stuffing. Now just a little handful should do. What I did do for this hat here is I did use some leftover bits of fabric and wadding that I had, so that's another option. You're going to need a nice sharp pair of scissors and you could cut out the pattern with a rotary cutter as well. Iron safe pen is also a good option for this one to mark out your pattern as you go, and a nice long ruler. So for part of this pattern, you need to measure out 24 inches by 8 inches. So make sure you've got a ruler that's at least that long. And as I mentioned before, you can download this pattern from our website and the link below. And it's a Ruby Star pattern. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to print the pattern off and then stick together, cut and stick this hat piece so that you can mark out your hat pattern as you go and then cut out your little pom-pom. And those are the bits you're going to need. We're now going to cut out our pattern pieces. So first of all, I'm going to grab this hat piece that we've cut and stuck together, and I'm going to lay it out on my outer fabric. So you're going to pop it on the fold. Now the pattern says fold, so lay that out on the fold, and then I'm just going to pop a couple of pins just on that fold just to keep it in place. So as I mentioned before, you can use a rotary cutter for cutting this out, or just a pair of sharp scissors. But I'm going to grab my rotary cutter and we're just going to go along the edge of the pattern. Now we've cut that piece out so we can take out our pins. And pop that to one side. And we're going to do the same for the white felt. So I've already done this one, but you'll just do exactly the same and you'll just pop that on the fold there and cut along. Now the other pattern piece that you get is a little circle for the pom-pom. So you'll do exactly the same with that one. You'll cut that out with the white fleece there. Now, as I mentioned before, you're going to need a ruler that's 24 inches by 8 inches, and that is to make the cuff of the hat, so this bit here. So I've already gone ahead and I've cut 24 by 8 inches along, and then that is going to get folded like so. So we're now ready to go over to our sewing machine, and we're going to sew along this straight edge here with the fleece and with the outer fabric. We're now going to sew the pieces together and you're going to need 5/8 of an inch seam allowance here. That is also 1.5 centimetres. So we're going to use 5/8 of an inch seam allowance for the fleece. Your machine, if it struggles a little bit with the fleece, with 2 layers, try using a longer stitch length. So we've now stitched our pieces together. What we're going to do is we're going to take our outer piece and we're just going to press those seams open. Now you can just finger press those, you don't necessarily have to use an iron, so just get them open. There we go, that will do. It doesn't have to be too flat there. And then the fleece, it just helps if you just finger press them open as well. So just get that there. Now we're going to take our fleece piece and we're going to turn that inside out. So next you're going to get your outer piece and you're going to pop that inside with wrong sides to wrong sides, and you're going to pop that inside the white fleece. And then find your seams and match them up. And then you're just going to pop a little pin in there. And then go all the way around and pin that together, matching the edges there. Now that you've pinned that, we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to do a zigzag all the way around that bottom edge there. We're now going to do a zigzag stitch all around the edge of this hat. So we're going to pop our foot down on the edge, and you want to make sure you've got nice wide zigzag for this one, and you want to try and go over the edge of the fabric. We've now finished sewing the zigzag on the bottom of our hat, and I've also gone ahead and just stitched down the long edge there on the cuff piece. So what I'm going to show you now is just cutting away a little bit of excess just in here, because when you fold the cuff over, it just makes it a bit less bulky at the back there. So just grab your pair of sharp scissors and we're just going to cut the middle and get as close as you can, but not too close. You don't want to start cutting that seam again. So I've just cut the middle out there like that. And now what we're going to do is you can just press that seam open again a little bit, just a finger press. And then we're going to fold that hat in half, the cuff of the hat in half, like so. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the sewing machine and we're going to zigzag all around the bottom of that fleece. We're going to do our zigzag stitch along the bottom of the hat again here. And it's a good idea here just to start on your seam. So just pop your needle down where you know you need to go. And again, try and get your zigzag just slightly off the edge. Now you need to start being careful with your fleece here because we're now on 4 layers, so just go nice and slowly over that seam. We've now done the zigzag stitch along the bottom of the cuff and the bottom of the hat, so we're going to pin those together. So matching your seams there, flip your cuff the other way and you're going to match the seams. And you're just going to pop a pin into that side of the outer fabric because that is where we're going to start sewing in a minute. So just pop that in there. And you're going to work your way all the way around. But what you might have to do is pull this cuff bit, stretch it so that it fits into the hat. You shouldn't have to do it too much, but a little bit might just help. So we've pinned that all into place, all the way around, and we're now going to pop it under the sewing machine, and you're going to want to pop it so you can see your outer fabric. So we're now going to sew the hat and the cuff of the hat together. You're going to want to start in your seam. However, some people might get issues because we're going through 4 layers of fleece. If you do get issues, you can try using a longer stitch again, or just hand sew the bulk of the seam. Now again, we're going to be using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. We've now done all the machine sewing for the hat, so we're ready to turn it through. So you're going to go into the centre, pull it through, and then I'm just going to put my finger up through the middle there and just try and poke out the top of the hat. And then come down here, and then you turn this cuff around. And that is your hat made. And we're just going to pop that to one side now, and we're going to go ahead and make our pom-pom. So for your pom-pom, you're going to get your circular piece of fabric or fleece, and then a nice long bit of strong thread. And we're going to just do some big stitches like this all the way around. And I'm not even going to knot the end of my thread, I'm just going to leave that loose. So we've now finished stitching around the circle, and you're just going to pull it so that it pulls it in, leaving enough of a gap to now get your stuffing, and we're going to pop that in there. And then once it's in there, carefully pull those two threads. And now a good idea at this point is to just do a few little stitches just where the threads are, just to try and keep it in place, and then we can do a little knot. There we go, little knot there, and that should just keep it in place. And then what you can do is you can just start pulling it together and stitching all the way around so it's a nice tight ball there. Once you've sewn all around and pulled the ball in of the pom-pom there, you're going to grab the top of the hat and you're going to pop that inside there. And now as carefully as you can, and then as evenly as you can, just sew the pom-pom on. And just pop a little knot on the end there so you can pull nice and tight. So once you've done as many stitches as you need to attach the pom-pom to the hat, just do a little knot at the end. And then cut off any loose threads. And your hat is now finished. So you've now finished your hat. I've made these hats today, and you could go ahead and make lots of hats for all the members of your family. Don't forget that you can buy all the products and items that you've seen on our website, which is thesewingstudio.co.uk. Don't forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's all free, don't forget. I'd love to see any pictures of the hats that you've made, so send them in to us. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.